Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today I'm taking a look at Surviving Mars Relaunched. Now, this came out a couple of weeks ago on the PlayStation. Essentially, this is a full remastered base game of Surviving Mars that came out several years ago for the PlayStation 4. But it's been kind of redone. It's got improved graphics, updated UI, performance, and stability enhancements. But it also comes with all previously released DLC expansions, content packs, radio stations, cosmetics. They've all been bundled into this package, which I think is actually pretty good, if I'm being honest, in regards to the price for this. It's not overly expensive. I have always been a massive fan of Surviving Mars. This is probably one of my top tier, city building type games, city management games, whatever you want to call them. I just think it's superb, this game. It is a game I consistently return to. Well, I have in the past when it was, the PlayStation 4 version, because it's just so good to play and it's so relaxing and it's so fun. So when I saw that this was getting a relaunch on PlayStation 5 with everything that I've just mentioned, I was really, really excited to play it again. So I've been playing it now for a good while. I've already played this game consistently. I've put hundreds of hours into this game previously, so I do know the game very, very well, and I've put a significant amount of time in this new version, this new PlayStation 5 version, and I have to say this plays wonderfully. I mean, you can tell it's had a touch up in the graphics. They look a little bit better, smoother, crisper, cleaner. Everything feels a little bit smoother as well. Some of the designs have been tweaked a little bit, and it just plays so satisfying. This game, if you love city builders, this is, as I've said, one of the top tier ones in my opinion. You can't really get many better than this. Certainly in regards to sci-fi builders, city builders, this is definitely a very, very good one. So, I mean, if you have played city builders, or if you played Surviving Mars before, this is not going to be difficult for you to pick up and learn again. There's a great tutorial that kind of teaches everything you need to know. It's very useful. It doesn't really take too long to do the tutorial, and you'll be up and running before you know it. For myself, who's played it a lot before, I just kind of went straight into the game, and you've got a few different options of how you want to play the game. You can customize the game however you want. You can make it harder, easier, all that kind of stuff, as you would expect with, a Paradox, who are just, so good at this sort of thing. And then you kind of thrust into it, and it follows the same kind of rules as you would expect with a city building type game. Your rocket lands on Mars. You've got some kind of drone droids that will do the initial building for you. You're going to need metals. You're going to need concrete. You're going to have to build power. You're going to have to build oxygen, moisture evaporators, and then start prepping your domes for the human colonists that will be coming later. But you have to make sure that before they get there, everything's in place for them. So, as I've said, you're going to need power, water, oxygen, food, all these basic things, so that when you do choose to bring the colonists on board from Earth to Mars, and the dome's all set up ready for them, the first dome, you're going to have to put things in the dome like living quarters, like places for them to eat, some kind of entertainment, and then you can put things, like factories in there for them to create polymers and electronics. But they will also go out and work at some of the sites on the planet that are extracting things like metals or that kind of stuff. So it's really building it up from there, getting your domes ready. If you want to expand your base out, you've got to make sure you've got to put a drone commander unit there, because you've only got so much range. So when you run out of range, you put a new one there and it kind of expands it again. So you kind of spread out everywhere. But you're going to need like domes kind of as and when you spread out. And they could specialize in, like I say, in certain areas. Some domes can be, you know, you can choose to have them producing food. Some of them you can have them producing electronics. And some of them you can either just have them as like living centres and entertainment centres for your colonists. So, you know, you can put bars in them. You can even put a TV studio in there, so you can kind of create like a reality TV. So, I mean, it really is about being as creative as you want to be, looking at what resources are available on the map, and when you zoom out, you can use like satellites to scan the area to find new resources, because you're going to need underground resources for metal and concrete, even water. And there's anomalies scattered all over that if you send one of your machines out, it will scan them. Scan these anomalies and it'll give you different bonuses and stuff. So it's very much what you remember if you've played this before. It's just better from what you might remember before. It plays really nicely. It plays really smoothly. It looks great, and it is just the same game, just dialed up to 11, if you like. So, as I mentioned previously, you get all the previously released DLC with this. So you get all the expansion packs, the content packs, the radio stations, the cosmetics. They're all bundled in with it, and it includes like the major expansions, like the Green Planet, so you can like do terraforming. There's Space Race, so you've got like rival colonies. So you got to try and beat rival colonies to kind of certain milestones. You've got Below and Beyond, which is kind of subsurface mining, that kind of stuff. You've got Project Laker, which is like animals and pets. Plus, you've got various different buildings and design packs. So you've got a whole new array of like buildings and things like that. Obviously, research is here as well, so that you can add research points to kind of create new building types, or invent new things, or make it so that the rockets that you send to Earth and from Earth arrive in a much quicker time period than they did before. You've even got like, with all these stuff bundled in with it, you've got like a brand new like political system in place. You've got the Martian Assembly. It kind of lets you govern your colony. You're allowed to kind of pass laws, manage colonies. There's like political dynamics going on, and you can even aim from full independence from Earth eventually. That's kind of endgame type stuff, like. But periodically in the game, you'll get like messages that come up saying, "Oh, you've got like a meeting to go to," and then that's when you kind of try and pass new laws. The laws will sometimes be easy to pass, or you might have to kind of sweeten the deal by agreeing to do a certain thing, and then if you don't do that by the time they want you to do it by, then the law won't get passed. But it's a good way of kind of getting extra bonuses in the game, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's got everything that you hope for. It's got upgraded visuals, smoother 4K, UI improvements, and the quality of life improvements have really improved all areas and made it for a much more streamlined colony building experience. It really is top tier stuff, this, guys. There is also a season pass that has come with this. I think it's $19.99 in the UK, so you can buy a new season pass. So you get all the old stuff from the old package, which is a lot of DLC and expansions, but there's going to be some more expansions coming. So they really have put a lot of effort into getting this upgraded for PlayStation 5. For those of you who have never played this before, it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. It's absolutely worth playing. For those of you who've never played it before, this is a perfect time to jump into the game. It's a very, very solid 9 out of 10 from me. This is as I've said, one of my favourite building games. I love the sci-fi aesthetic. It really works very well for the game, and it's a game that I absolutely strongly recommend.